Hi, my name's Will. In this video I'm going to show you a reading method that I hope you can apply to your studies. So the method is called PQ4R and each letter stands for a stage and then you work through the stages. P equals preview, Q is questions, and then there's 4 times things beginning with the letter R, and they are R1, read, R2, reflect, R3, recite, and R4, review. So that's the method. In the preview stage, essentially what you're doing is preparing yourself for reading. So when you sit down, see how much you actually are expected to read. And it may be that you can't achieve that within the session. So set a realistic goal for yourself, like you'll only read up to page 5 within the hour you've got, and make a sort of like a note where you're going to stop. The second thing you can do in the preparing stage is to skim the text really lightly. So just look through it and see how dense it is. Like it may be quite a light text with lots of diagrams and images. It may be a very heavy text with really difficult concepts. So you're sussing out how long and how difficult this is to read. And then thirdly, what you can do is you can read the introduction or the abstract, the conclusion, and then just quickly skim the titles in between, like what are the titles, subtitles. And then basically that gives you a platform for seeing exactly what you're getting into. So the next stage is the question stage. In this stage, you actually think of a question that you want to find out from the reading. And by doing this, this actually helps you focus, like motivated to read on to find out the answer to that question. The question can be a simple question like a definition, I want to understand what that means. Or you can take questions from the course that you're on. It might have broken down reading weeks where it will say in this week we discuss this subject and ask these questions. So you take that question and you apply that to the reading. You can come up with your own. There's no right or wrong answer. The important thing is that you have questions, so you're starting to get your mind focused on this reading. The next stage is the reading stage. Now this is the reading stage proper, where you actually begin. And what can be helpful is to think about the way paragraphs are structured. So usually there's one main point which appears at the top, and this main point is followed up by then further evidence and further comment. But think about the main point, like what is the main point of this paragraph? And it doesn't have to be a full understanding, but try to get the gist of what the writer is trying to say. So that's your goal as a reader, to understand what the main point of the paragraph you're reading is. So the next stage is the reflecting stage. And what this means is writing a note down beside the paragraph you've just read of what you thought the main point was. Now you can highlight the text of the main point, but the reflecting comes in trying to put that in your own words and paraphrase it beside. Doesn't have to be detailed, just to capture the meaning. And that's the reflect stage. The next stage is the recite stage. And in the recite stage, you say out loud your note you've written down. By saying it out loud, it actually goes into your long-term memory. And the last stage is the review stage. So at some point in the future, you take out your reading and your notes and you go over the notes beside the paragraph, saying them out loud, one at a time, and that will help you recall everything you've read. I hope you find this technique useful. You can apply just some of it or all of it, but it's been tried and tested by many academics, and therefore there's a good chance it will work for you.